Hello all, this is Mark Wilbur at logicmason.com, and I'm talking about my experience as a student at Reactor. That's an intensive school for front-end web development, and they cover a good amount of CSE things in general, but our focus is JavaScript. Let's see, this right now is my break time. I've finished the first half of my course, which is 6 weeks. I get 1 week off, and then I'll have another 6 weeks. I'm a few days into my break, so that means I've had a chance to catch up on sleep, which I was so short on before. I was at the school probably 12, maybe even 13 hours a day. And let's see, what else? I've gone out running a few times. That's been great. They did set something up for us to go to a gym, but we still had to pay something, and it was a bit of a hike and through a bad part of town. So I didn't end up doing that. I've started feeling like I really need more exercise. So I think for my next 6 weeks, I'm gonna try to work out something during our long lunches. We get long lunches every other day. I'll try to maybe run back near my apartment, where I can shower and then change and then walk back to class, something like that. Anyway, since last video, in the 6th week of our class, we learned more about sequelize, which is an ORM for the SQL database, and we dug into Meteor a bit. So unlike before, when I had just poked at Meteor, I had a chance to build a Stack Overflow clone, and it was pretty fast. And yeah, Meteor's neat. It's got a lot of quote magic in it, which is a little bit of a pain for me, because I mean sometimes it's great, but sometimes something isn't working and I don't know why it's not working or how it should be. But after figuring out how the JavaScript this is passed from the templates back into the JavaScript that was a big challenge, and after that things got a bit easier. Let's see. Oh, right. There was a huge conference at Heroku called Waza. Or not at Heroku, but Heroku put it on. It was all stylish with dark things and purple. And they gave me the shirt. It says Waza on it. I think you can read it. That was the first really big developer conference I've ever gone to. It was really neat. I bumped into at least 2 of the people who've come to my school to talk to us before. It was interesting. I think one of them gave a very similar talk as to what he did to us, except instead of for 20 people, it was for hundreds of people. One thing that was really great for me at that conference is that RoboDuel game that I showed last time, last Reactor Diaries YouTube video. I haven't worked on it anymore, but when people at the conference ask me, so, what have you been learning at this school, or do you have any projects, I could just say, yes, as a matter of fact, I do. Whip out my laptop and show it to them. And one of the speakers at the conference actually gave me some feedback on the game that was pretty useful, I think. And he gave me a strategy board and card game he's been working on. It's like a prototype, but I'm totally thrilled to have this. It's got like dice and cards and markers and stuff. As you can see, it's very much prototype level, but wow, I mean, what a neat thing to do. And maybe maybe it's a connection that's a little bit more, a little bit stronger, just because I had something I could show them, and we're obviously both into games. Similarly, there was a meetup that night for people interested in how these schools like mine work. There were people from my school, Hack Reactor, and then also from Dev Bootcamp and from App Academy, and another female-only one called Hack Bright. And having demos to show off is kind of fun. Not show off, but just if people can ask what I'm working on, it's a lot nicer to say this, have a look at it, what do you think, than it is to say, well, I don't really work. I just talk about programming. It wasn't quite that extreme before I started this school, but it's fun to have stuff. Speaking of which, what I'm supposed to be doing over this week is, aside from recuperating and taking care of my health and so forth, is make a personal project of my own, and I'm trying to decide what to do. As I said, I haven't worked any more on that programmable robot fighting game, but I'm thinking about either working more on it and like really polishing it into like a showcaseable project, or working on a Chinese learning related tool, because that's a market I know pretty well, having been a Chinese learner for a long time and running an English teaching school in Taiwan and all. Or I'm thinking maybe some kind of app for training your ear. I like music and I like singing, but I sadly don't have a lot of musical background. I haven't really done much with it. Played the cello, but I think I quit when I was like 5 or 6 or something. So I've been thinking of like an app that will play a couple of tone intervals and ask you, like, was this a major third, or was this a fifth, or was this thing half step, or was it a full step, something like that. So those are at least 2 of the ideas I'm working on, or 3. Wait, can I count here? Robot game, Chinese learning thing, like flashcard app, which there are way too many of, or the ear training one. Yeah, so those are the 3 things I'm considering right now. Yeah, I've got to make a decision and really push hard on one, so that I have more to show in 6 more weeks when people are interested in hiring. But I've kind of gotten distracted by that Nathan's University site that I mentioned on my blog earlier. It's pretty amazing. Like the CS professor at some university in California, not San Francisco, but somewhere else, has this site where he teaches you how to make compilers or interpreters. And it's kind of like Code School. I don't know if you know the site that does like Rails for Zombies or any of those things. It's kind of that format. Like there's a console on the page, and you you do problems bit by bit, and you accumulate what you learn from them, and it gives you harder and harder challenges. It's like that, except it leads you all the way through making an interpreter, and making a compiler, and then making your own computer language. And that's really awesome. nathansuniversity.com. Right, so that's what I've been working on. My main goals for now are try to run at least more than half the days left in the break, get enough sleep, which isn't very difficult to do, and work a bit more on my project. Oh, and also I'm going to try to contribute something, maybe not a lot, but at least something, to an open source project that isn't my own. So that's pretty much it for this week. I'm looking forward to going back to class. I think very soon they'll probably be teaching us D3. At least I hope that's coming up this week. Anyway, take care all, and I will be doing another video after the 7th week or the 8th week are over.